So if you're going to create a sole proprietorship or general partnership using your name and social security number, just start. Okay, just make sure that you keep separate accounting, bookkeeping records to the business, because again, when you file your personal income tax, you'll be filing a Schedule C for the business. So it's very important if you use your name and social security number. That's fine. Start out that way. Maybe that's how you want to begin, but keep separate bookkeeping, checking account, keep everything separate for the business, because when you file your personal return, you will be filing a Schedule C. Okay. Now, if you're going to go into a corporation, as I said, we have to get you an EIN number. Then we have to have you file for the LLC or the business entity at the Department of State, Bureau of Corporations, get you a fictitious name. Remember I said doing business as, okay, you know, etc. In that case, you're going to want to keep separate and succinct business entity financial statements. That would mean your budget, your cash flow statement, and your P&L, your profit and loss statements. Typically, if you create an LLC, you have to have a tax return completed every year. State, local, federal, whether your business makes money or not. Sole proprietorship or general, it's just separate bookkeeping and a Schedule C. And in a corporate entity, it's actually an entity tax return, state, local, federal, whether you make money or not. The results of those tax reviews, when you get those tax returns, they will give you what we call a Schedule K, okay? And that's what's going to then be filed with your personal income tax. Now, I don't want to go into a lot of detail at this point, but just to give you a general idea, and when that time comes, if you're working with us, again, that information will be more detailed and readily available to you. Okay. In an LLC, the governing document is called an operating agreement. And what that basically says is who owns the company, who's in the company, who are members, who's the managing member, are you hiring somebody to manage the company, who's putting what kind of money into it, what's the capital contribution, are members putting money in to start the company, is anybody going to be paid to run the company, how are they going to be paid, what's going to happen if the owners or the members die, disability, how's the company going to be dissolved, should there be a decision to dissolve, how are decisions going to be made, etc. Okay? And that's in an operating agreement. We encourage all LLCs, even if you're an LLC of one person. Now you might say, hey, Rich, it's one person, right? But a one-person LLC is an LLC. This operating agreement would be simple, but we would encourage you to have it. If it's a multiple member LLC, we have a number of operating agreement templates that we can share, as well as the consultants can help you craft one, okay? And again, you see education here has given you another URL to sample operating agreements. We're going on to slide 30, okay? Insurance is going to be very important. General business and liability insurance. If you're going to go into an office or create an office, right? Fire, health, vehicle theft. What about your insurance? Health insurance, personal insurance, okay, malpractice insurance. These are all costs. Remember, a lot of times your employer, when you get a paycheck, covers these things, right? Well, guess what? If that's no longer the case, these are things you have to consider or you'd be without them. And then you'd really be exposed. And depending on the business you're creating, if you need money, you better have these things or no lender would loan to you. Okay. Do you need licenses depending on your profession? Let's use the landscaping business. Okay, you better check with EPA, Environmental Protection Agency, the state EPA, chemicals, things, you got to understand what you can and cannot do. So again, you know, the Department of State, the Bureau of Corporations, the EPA, okay, your local registrations, your permits, your zoning, have an idea of everything that you're going to need. Again, this is all, if you're creating a consultant company, no, okay? If you're creating a landscaping company, you better understand this. If you're going to start buying and flipping and selling houses, you better have an idea from your area's planning and zoning commission. And if you intend to do this outside of where you live, understand zoning and planning from the other communities that you're going to invest in.